All right, so we're making several updates to several racial abilities with the goal of increasing viability of some underrepresented races. Many of these abilities have fallen behind naturally within the game's ecosystem. I mean, come on, Blizzard. Some of these racials have been trash, like, since you put them in the game. Come on. Our hope is that targeted tweaks will help promote increased diversity of racials across all content types. That's what we like to see, baby. That's what we like to see. Give to the Naru cooldown reduced to 2 minutes was 3. This is actually really cool. I think Draenei is actually kind of sick when it comes to PvP. The racial does a lot. It's 20%, and I think it scales off verse, so it's like 24 or 25% or so. And it scales with like healing increases and stuff too. So if you're a paladin and you put up Blessing of Spring, then they're taking, they're taking 30% more healing from that. So 2-minute gift to the Naru is pretty cool. Rugged Tenacity's effect is increased by 50%. Okay, let's log on TR. Rugged Tenacity reduces damage taken by 1,000. Okay, so this is minus 1,000 damage. So this is what? Minus 1,000 damage. That's getting buffed by 50%. Okay, so it'll be 1,500. I mean, that's got to be good, right? Into some stuff, right? That's got to be good into some stuff, right? Like something. What would this be good into? Because when it comes to playing against pet classes, you can be Vulpera. Well, no, Vulpera is better into pets. Vulpera is better. So this would be like a dot. This would be dots. Dude, oh my god. Imagine you queue into like an Affliction Shadow Priest in a tournament and you log Highmountain Tauren, bro. You play triple Highmountain Tauren. That's gotta be a troll. That's gotta be a troll. That's gotta be a troll. So Highmountain Tauren ratio is gonna be 1,500 per hit now. Okay. So Lightforged Draenei, you get 40% more damage. How hard does Lightforged Draenei hit? 40% nothing is nothing? You say that until Lightforged Draenei starts one-shotting you, bro. What is the other thing they got? They got Holy Resistance, but you get... Dude, look at that. You get 1% healing. Dude, Lightforged Draenei gets 1% healing. That's gotta be insane. Next patch, that's gotta be insane. Alright, so 40% buff. Let's see how much it does. I'm gonna hit the dummy. Okay, so Lightforged Draenei will do about 340,000 in Arena. What are our thoughts on that? What are our thoughts on that scale of 1 to 10? Actually, fuck 1 to 10. Is that a W or an L? W or an L for Lightforged Draenei? I'm thinking that's an L. That's awful. It's going to go from 250k to 350k. I think that's a mega L. Like, bro, nobody's playing Draenei, bro. Nobody's playing Lightforged Draenei, dude. Nobody's playing Lightforged Draenei. It's not going to happen. Yeah, we have what? Everyone has 7 million health in Arena. 7 mil. I mean, you can go normal Draenei, man. If it was 800k and the 1% heal, yeah. Dude, maybe if it was like a 500k hit, it'd be like, that's not that bad. Because it has a delay, too. So it could actually be decent if you, like, press all your CDs and then time it, you know? If anyone remembers Maledict Trinket, when they first introduced the Maledict Trinket in BFA, when it had a delay to it, and you would press it and then press your burst and one-shot people, I don't know if it scales off Rep Mastery. Because Rep Mastery is holy damage, right? Let's see. So right now it says this, it does 253. 267, so it does more. It does a little bit more. Because yeah, what you can do is like, if I get in combat here, what you can do is you can like Lightforge, and then I'll Judgment. Not that bad, 420 crit. 420 crit. Plays it up. So what's next? What's next? Magh'ar Orc. Stats granted from Ancestral Call increased by 30%. Increases one of your 2 highest secondary stats. I've seen a few Magh'ar Orcs. Those guys are trolls, man. I don't know what's going on with Magh'ar Orc. They're fried. Okay, so what is this? This is 30%. Wait, so it's 1 of 2, so you don't even get your highest now? Because isn't Magh'ar just your highest? So now it's going to be RNG. Oh, no, it's a random. Oh, so they're actually making it way better. Okay, well, that makes it a lot better. What are your other racials? You get reduced poison, disease, and curses. You get increased pet health. You get increased mount speed. Yo, that could be insane. Okay, so let's just get in combat and then see how much it does. So my highest stats, obviously verse. So all it says is granting you a random stat. Okay, so it doesn't even matter what I pick. Let's see. To get 5,000 verse. 5,000 verse is what it gave me. 5,000 verse for 15 seconds. I'm pretty sure 5,000 verse is the equivalent of 6.5% verse. 5,000 verse is 6.5%. Okay. 30% and increases one of your 2 highest secondary stats. Okay, so assuming the gear I have, it would be obviously mastery and verse. So it would be between mastery and verse. You get 6.5% right now with 5,000. What is that? 8.4%? 8.3%? Damn. That makes it a lot better. It really does. 6,500 if we're assuming it's verse and I'm above the stat DR. You would get like 8% damage. 8% verse with your racial. Damn. Okay, so yo, maybe Magh'ar Orc could be sick. You think people are gonna play Magh'ar Orc? It's a 2-minute cooldown. It's a 2-minute cooldown. My favorite part right here. The next one up to test, Nightborne. Guys, little fun fact for you. I am one of only 5 Nightborne players in the entire game. I went Nightborne on my death knight in Dragonflight. Shadowlands actually. End of Shadowlands. I was one of only like 7 Nightborne players in the entire game, believe it or not. There's actually only 7 people that play Nightborne. It's crazy. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. I was Nightborne on my DK, so I'm actually getting buffed here with this change. This change here is a buff to my DK. That's crazy. All right, so cool. All right, well, before we move on, what do we think? W or L? W or L on Magh'ar Orc? W or L? I think that's a huge dub. You're going to get about 6,500 secondary stat. And then they're also changing it to make it so it's your top 2. You're getting one of your top 2. You're not just getting a random stat. Because right now, it's a random stat. I think that's a dub. All right, well, next one. What are we doing? Nightborne. Arcane Pulse damage increased by 300%. Reduces movement speed by 80%. Was 50. Duration reduced to 8. Was 12. Okay, so they're actually making the slow insane too. So Nightborne's getting an 80% slow. The damage is probably still going to be bad because it already does nothing. So 300% of nothing is nothing. But the 80% slow as far as PvP goes could actually be kind of good. Let's check this. Let's test this out. Nightborne racial, the most OP racial in the game. 300% arcane pulse damage. Okay, so that means it's going to increase by 4x. So let's make sure we hit the dummy. Hit the dummy to get PvP combat. The racial does 43,000 damage. The 3-minute cooldown. Okay. But it's AoE. It's AoE damage. It's AoE damage. It's not an L. Don't say L. It's AoE damage. So let's break out the calculator here. So it would do about 147,000 per person. But I could also press all my cooldowns. And if I did, 55,000. Okay, so with Pillar of Frost, it does 55k. It scales. It scales. And it's AoE. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know. I feel like if you have all your cooldowns up, you could maybe do like a big AoE hit for like 200k a person. I feel like that's not that bad. That's not that bad at all. That's like, all right. That's like, okay. Because it's AoE damage, you know? You got to think. If everyone's stacked together, right? Like, let's say you have a team in arena, triple stacked. Yeah, non-crit too. That was non-crit. You have a team stacked in arena, triple stacked. One button would do 600,000 damage non-crit. And they're slowed by 80%, which is actually good. Like, let's be honest. The 80% slow is actually, like, that's pretty disgusting. Wait, Lightforged Draenei is actually AoE. You're right. Oh my god. All right, let's see. We're doing more testing. More testing on Lightforged Draenei because it is AoE. So we're going to run up. We're going to hit the dummy, wings, and then Light's Judgment. Okay. Light's Judgment. That's gotta be insane, dude. 1 million damage? Okay, wait, no. Wait. Let's think about this. Okay, wait, that actually wasn't... Yo, could Lightforged Draenei be insane? So Lightforged Draenei is getting 10. It's getting more radius as well. Okay, so our testing, we messed up our testing a little bit. So it's getting more. It's getting 10-yard radius instead of 5. 40% damage. One Lightforged Draenei did a million damage. Yeah, I mean, it's not that bad if you're ret, especially. So one did a million damage. Obviously, we got one crit. I feel like that's not that bad. I feel like if you're a ret pally, or I mean, I guess any class with their cooldowns, like that's not that bad, dude. That's pretty solid. If this had the buffs already, we would have done like 1.3, 1.4 million damage. So what did they do to Void Elf? What are they doing to this racial? Spatial Rift movement speed of the Rift is increased by 80%. Duration is increased to 8. And maximum range has been increased to 35 yards. The visual effect has been updated and no longer appears for party members. Okay, that's interesting. So your team can't see it. Entropic Embrace proc activation rate adjusted. Now increases healing and damage by 5% for 12 seconds. Was duplicated. Functions with absorbs. Dude, wait, what? What? Dude, Void Elf gets a 5% damage and healing proc? Entropic Embrace. Proc activation rate adjusted. Now increases healing and damage by 5% for 12 seconds. So what is it now? It's just duplicated, right? Your abilities have a chance to empower you with the essence of the void, causing your damage and healing effects to deal an additional 5% as Shadow Frost. Okay, so a 5% increase is a lot better than duplicated damage. Because duplicated damage and healing normally double dips with other reductions. So that's pretty insane, honestly. So Spatial Rift, obviously, 3-minute cooldown. See Ven playing with this. I think it's, 30 yards max? But I'm pretty sure it's really slow. Like, the teleport is really slow when you launch it. So what they're doing is they're making it faster. They're buffing the speed of the Rift by 80%, making the duration longer as well, so you have a better chance to use it because it's going to be an 8-second duration instead of 6. And they're buffing the yards. Like, how fast does it go now? Because it's really slow, isn't it? And it's not that slow, but it kind of is. I mean, it's still a 3-minute CD, but it just makes Void Elf better, right? Like, it's obviously a 3-minute CD. That's a long cooldown. But it definitely makes Void Elf better. Because the speed of that rift was actually not as slow as I thought. I have no idea if it goes through Ice Wall. I guess I can test that in 3 minutes. I mean, honestly, the Void Elf change is really insane. Like this one right here. So you have a proc that duplicates damage and healing, but it's 5% duplicated damage and healing, but those type of mechanics are really weird because they always kind of double dip in PvP, or just in general with like damage reductions and healing reductions and stuff. So just giving them a flat 5%, and it also works with shields now. So like being a priest, like a Void Elf priest or something, pretty insane. Pretty insane. 5% damage proc. No, it goes through Ice Wall. It literally just goes straight through it. Is that a bug? Heh. Alright, well, it actually just goes... It just goes straight through the Ice Wall. Okay. Okay, yeah. Alright, well, Venruki is going to be having a lot of fun, I guess. Dude, honestly, Void Elf buff is kind of a dub. The Void Elf buff is kind of a W for sure. This is definitely a W for anyone who actually likes playing Void Elf. That's pretty crazy, man. But what are the Vulpera changes? Bag of Tricks damage and healing increased by 40%. Bag of Tricks now decreases movement speed. Wow, so they're actually giving Vulpera an 80% slow also. So Nightborne also got an 80% slow, and Vulpera also gets an 80% slow. Or a movement speed buff. I'm pretty sure the racial does like no damage. But it's getting what, 40%? Yeah, so 40% of nothing. What's that amount to? Let's see. So if I'm in combat, my racial does 166k. Let's see if I get a proc. Oh, I got one. Okay. So it does 187. 187. And it's, oh yeah, so it's nature damage too. So it actually scales off I think it scales off Shiv and stuff, doesn't it? Your nature damage increase to the target. Okay. Yeah, it scales with main stat. It scales with main stat. I think all the damage stuff scales with main stat. So like the Nightborne one, the Lightforged Draenei, Bag of Tricks. I think they scale with main stat. All right, so I'm going to use it again in 40 seconds. I want to use it with my Shiv. I got a proc already. Got a Shiv debuff. 218 crit. Wait, I don't think this scales. This did 280k damage, but if it crit, it already would have done that. I don't think it actually scales with Shiv. What the fuck? So basically, Vulpera racial is still going to be no damage, probably. Because you got to think about it, too. The Vulpera racial doesn't AoE. So, like, Nightborne AoEs, and then the Light's Judgment also AoEs. Yeah, I feel like Vulpera racial, the Bag of Tricks, still probably not that great. But the speed increase is nice. Like, this 80% speed reduction, like we talked about. 80% speed reduction in PvP is pretty crazy. Worgen, you get speed bonus with other effects. Okay, so you're going to get super fast. We can't even test that. I mean, Worgen's definitely took the L on that one. Because isn't the Worgen racial? I have a Worgen character. I literally have a mage that's Worgen. Let's see. The Worgen racial is 3 minutes, isn't it? Or is it 2? I have a mage. Wolfed up Whiskey. I'm a female Worgen. So Worgen racial is a 2-minute cooldown. Stacking with other movement speed effects is definitely good, but this is probably more like a PvE thing. Like you can have crazy mobility in PvE or crazy mobility in like BGs probably. So if you're someone that likes to do BGs or you play BG Blitz and you just so happen to be a Worgen, if you so happen to be a Worgen and you like Battlegrounds and BG Blitz, then that buff is for you. That buff is for you, for sure. That's a good buff for you. Let's make a Zandalari Troll. Okay, so what are the racials? So what are they doing? Regenerate no longer cancels from periodic damage effects. Its cooldown is now 3 minutes, was 2.5. Oh, this is kind of cool. Dude, every time I think of Zandalari Troll racial, I think of Borngood pressing bubble and then regenerate. Borngood is the only player in the game that plays Zandalari Troll, dude. And he bubbles and then presses regenerate. Like, Jesus Christ. So this isn't going to cancel from dots anymore, which is kind of crazy. So dots no longer cancel this, which is a good change. And then it's only going to do 50% of your health. Okay. These gifts or whatever, like these Zandalari Troll things must have been so bad. Because they're getting buffed by... Like, look at the numbers on this. Embrace of Akuna healing is increased by 300%. And chance to trigger increased by 250%. Embrace of Bronze Zombie increased by 50%. Embrace of Kimball, chance to trigger, increased by 400%. Damn, is Zandalari Troll that terrible? Is it that terrible? That's a crazy number. They're all getting buffed by 300%. Okay, so Akunda is your abilities have a chance to heal their target. This says it's 2 procs a minute. I wonder how much it does. Bwansamdi is... Abilities have a chance to deal shadow damage and heal you. This is movement speed. Kimball's chance to get a bleed that stacks. Dude, what if these are like insanely overtuned? Chance to trigger increased by 400%. This one is what? 50% buff to the Bwansamdi effect? What's the Bwansamdi one? So Bwansamdi is getting a 50% buff to the damage proc. And then Akuna is getting 300% healing increase and chance to trigger increase. What if Zandalari Troll is kind of lit, dude? Try Zandalari Feral? I can't. Like I can't swap my my embrace on Tournament Realm. So we're gonna have to see how that works out. We're gonna have to see how that works out with Zandalari Troll, like on PTR or something. This could be interesting to see. Some of these could definitely be interesting. The Worgen one, Battlegrounds, Vulpera, probably still kind of eh. The Void Elf one is going to be really good though. Like I think Void Elf will be a lot better because you're just getting a flat 5% damage buff. You're getting a flat 5% damage and healing buff that also works with absorbs. So being like a Void Elf priest is going to be good, or like even a Void Elf mage, you get more shield absorb with that proc. But 5% damage proc is a lot better than the duplicated proc that they had. So this is pretty crazy. The Spatial Rift is going to be better as well. Nightborne, it'll be better, but the damage is still going to be kind of weak. Magh'ar Orc, we did say, though, was going to be better, for sure. Lightforged Draenei, the damage is going to be pretty crazy for some classes. Like, if you're a Rep Paladin and you ever have people stacked with all your cooldowns, like, Light's Judgment is going to do a lot of damage. We already hit this on TR earlier. It did 1 million damage. We had 2 hits, 1 crit, 1 million damage, which is pretty good for a spell that just has a delay as well to it. Rugged Tenacity is the Highmountain Tauren buff, or Highmountain Tauren ratio, which is you take minus 1,000 damage every hit currently. This is going to be 1,500 damage every hit. So this could be decent maybe against like dog classes and stuff when it comes to PvP, but I don't know how good that's going to be overall. I don't know if people are going to really play that. And then obviously Draenei got a 2-minute CD, 2-minute gift to the Naru instead of 3. So I feel like the winners in this update for 1107 are definitely, I think Lightforged Draenei, definitely W. Magh'ar Orc is going to be better for sure. Void Elf is going to be better. And then obviously the Draenei one is good. And Zandalari Troll, we're going to have to wait and see. Zandalari Troll is a wait and see. But top 3, I would definitely say like Void Elf, Lightforged Draenei, and Magh'ar Orc. But that'll be interesting. I feel like it's cool. We've been talking about this for a while. I feel like this has been a topic of discussion for a lot of people for years. With just making racials better across the board. Instead of having, you know, only a few be really, really good. So, cool. All right, we'll see. Maybe we go Zandalari Troll, man. Maybe next patch, if one of these blessings is OP, we'll just go Zandalari Troll. That could be sick.